I was somebody else's let's not meet. Trigger warning, another animal dies. This was pretty horrifying when it happened for everyone involved, but enough time has gone by now that I can laugh about it. So here goes. I was in my second year of university. My flat was a near quiet road surrounded by woodland, so we'd occasionally see a roe deer and other... Roe deer?
I don't know what roe deer means.
And other wildlife roaming around. We weren't that far from the campus, but it was still pretty out of the way. One night, it must have been around 10 p.m., my housemate got home, came straight upstairs to my room, and told me that a deer had been hit by a car and killed. Aww. It was lying practically in the middle of the road. Me, try not to cry. No. There weren't many streetlights, so it posed a serious risk to any drivers who might not see it in the dark. It could flip up and go through somebody's windscreen or cause them to swerve into a tree. We considered calling campus security to come and remove the deer, but we knew it would take them a while to get there. So we figured we might as well try and move it off the road and onto the pavement. I grabbed some heavy-duty plastic garbage bags, and my housemate brought a torch. Flashlight in UK.
Yeah. No, actual torch.
I know. When we got to the place where the deer was, I gingerly put my hand on her neck to check if she was definitely dead. I almost screamed when she suddenly came back to life, flailing her legs out and thrashing, making the most god-awful groaning noise. It was like a horror movie jump scare. We were both very shaken, though thankfully out of kicking range. After that last outburst, the deer unfortunately did pass away, though I think we were both secretly relieved that we didn't have to put her out of her misery ourselves. Killing a half-dead animal with a rock was not very much on my 2018 bucket list. No cars had come by yet, so between us, we were able to wrap the deer in garbage bags and lift it. Once we had it up, it seemed stupid to just dump it out there on the pavement then when the woods were right next to us. We decided to carry it a bit further out and leave it in a sheltered woodland area. I know how dumb it sounds, but at the time it seemed perfectly sensible. You can probably guess what happened next. We'd been walking for a couple of minutes. The bag was leaking blood from the deer's hind leg, and it was generally just a pretty messy business. We were talking as we went, and I said something about how I hoped she hadn't suffered too much and how we needed to find an out-of-the-way place to drop the corpse. I can't with this story. What we did not know is that not far away, just out of our line of sight, was a guy out for a late-night smoke. I smelled the weed, but had no idea anyone else was around until we were on our way out of the woods again, at which point we saw him walking ahead of us very fast, occasionally darting horrified glances over his shoulder. He was white as a sheet. As we drew nearer, he broke into an outright run, and when we finally emerged onto the street, we saw him disappear around the corner. I can only imagine how freaked out he must have been. From his perspective, he'd just seen two people wandering through the woods after dark, dragging a heavy, bloody garbage bag, and discussing the most effective way to dispose of a woman's body. We went the next few days half expecting to receive some sort of call from security accusing us of murder, but nothing ever came of it. Maybe he went back to check for the body and realized what had happened, or he was too traumatized to report it. Either way, I'm pretty sure we gave that man the shock of his life. To the innocent weed-smoking guy in the woods, I am so sorry. I promise I'm not a murderer. That is so funny. That is so funny. I mean, it's really sad that the deer died, but casually walking through the woods and not saying deer and just saying, I hope she didn't suffer too much. Yeah. Where should we put her? Oh, I think somewhere over there, somewhere secluded. We don't want anyone to find her.
And then there's just some guy, like, standing in the woods, like,
could you imagine smoking in the woods at night?
I would be horrified. Well, because we did a whole episode on people going camping and creepy things happening in the woods. Other people coming up and being like, ooh, let's kill you. So I can only imagine this guy's like, it's happening.
Today's my day.
It's
Today's my day.
I mean, just have him like running back to his car, like looking over his shoulder, and you're like walking out with your friend. You had one of the worst nights of your life, and you're like
covered in blood too.
Yeah. Do you think he's running because of us? Yes.
You like look down at your shoes and your hands, and you're like, God damn it. Wait, hold on, come back. We're not gonna kill you. Like,
we're not murderers.
All he hears is, we're murderers. We are gonna kill you. Because he keeps like turning his head so his ears only pick up part of it. So every time he turns,
are murderers.
Ew, I would be the same way. I would be like
horrified.
Yeah, because you have no idea. And deers are relatively people size, so I can see, unless you saw the actual. I want to know if it was like a black garbage bag or if it was like a clear or a white one.
A white one, you can see the blood everywhere.
You can see clearly that there's. Well, it's at night, right? Is it at night? Yeah, late night smoke. So he just saw dark liquid in a bag while these people are getting.
I hope she didn't suffer too much. Which is what you would say in that scenario.
I would be, since he's out there smoking, my first thing would be like, is this real? Am I real? Is this really happening?
I'm hallucinating.
And then run like a woman kicks in. I mean, this was a guy, but you know.
Run like a woman.
For me, I would be sprinting it back. I do wonder if he went back to go check on the body, though.
I feel like I don't know if I would have. Because there's this whole thing about how, like, murderers will revisit murder sites. Yeah. And then if that's, like, their, like, burial ground, they could be back there burying something. Yeah. I would have just told the police, hey.
Yeah. I probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have, like, called the police and been like, hey, there's these guys were just bringing this lady out into the woods. Mm-hmm. They just kind of strolled past me.
Yeah, seems dead.
They said, I hope she doesn't suffer, and said they should hide her somewhere secluded.
Yeah.
Seclusive. Yeah. Another thing, I'd poop.
I would poop everywhere. It would have been a big ol', or probably just like one poop.
That guy probably went to therapy too.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. I don't think he ever smoked again.
No, probably not. He thought he was going to die. He thought that was his last night on Earth. Mm-hmm. I don't blame him. I would have felt the same way.
Imagine your first smoke by yourself and this shit happens.
I remember the first time. Sorry, Mom. That I partook in the lettuce. And I did it out of a Sprite bottle and a lug nut.
She's an engineer.
I didn't have anything else. And there was this like park, like this like playground that was in my neighborhood, and then there was like the woods behind it. Yeah. So we would go into the woods, and that's where I smoked for the first time. We were sitting on this big concrete barrel thing. And I thought I was hallucinating everything.
Oh, my God.
And we walked back to the park, and I laid on the ground and looked up at the sky, and it was daytime. And I could hear, like, kids playing. And I was like, whoa, the clouds are talking to me. Hey, yikes.
That's so funny.
So imagine being this guy.
Yeah.
In the woods. And he's like,
he was probably having such a nice time before that.
I know.
Sitting, listening to, like, the crickets chirp and the rustle of the leaves.
Just late night smoking.
And then a little
Where should we bury the body?
Crunching.
Oh my God, she's dripping blood everywhere. This is so unfortunate. I'm really glad we didn't have to just put her out of her misery, though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I really didn't want to hit her over the head with a rock.
Yeah, that would have been the worst. I hate having to do that.
Oh, I've never done that. You've done it before? Yeah, I've done it quite a few times, actually.
Mm-hmm. More than you would want to.
And I always put them somewhere secluded in the woods.
Just a nice little spot for their burial, you know?
Yeah, just give them a little nice
They had such a hard time going out. I want to make sure the afterlife is nice, you know?
Laying down on this crunchy, nice, soft dirt and leaves.
Someone says should have eaten that deer.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, someone else in the comment was like asking if the other perspective was ever posted. It's somewhere out there, hopefully. I'll work to find them, and then that'll be a whole episode.
I hope this brings us around.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy.
Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?